The Fight for College Athlete Employment, Paul McDonald's Journey. Imagine a scenario where two students attending the same college are treated vastly differently when it comes to their employment status. One, a junior point guard, is breaking a sweat on the basketball court, racking up points and assists, while the other, a freshman econ major, is selling popcorn on the concourse. Despite their different roles, they have one thing in common. They're both students at the same institution. However, when it comes to their employment status, the student selling popcorn is considered an employee through the school's work-study program, whereas the athlete is not. This disparity is at the heart of a contentious debate that has been ongoing for years, with one man, Paul McDonald, at the forefront of the fight. For almost 6 years, McDonald, a 54-year-old lawyer, has been tirelessly advocating for college athletes to be recognized as employees, and his latest case, Johnson versus NCAA, has become his life's work. But here's where it gets controversial. McDonald's approach has sparked a heated debate, with some arguing that his method is not the best way to achieve athlete labor rights. And this is the part most people miss. The fact that McDonald's lawsuit doesn't deal with unionization or the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, but rather argues that all Division I athletes are student employees under the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, making them eligible for minimum wage. McDonald believes it's a simple matter of fairness. If a student selling popcorn is considered an employee, why shouldn't a student athlete be treated the same way? But as we'll see, the issue is far more complex than that. The case, filed in 2019, has been crawling through the courts, with the NCAA arguing that athletes don't want to be employees, a claim McDonald vehemently disagrees with. In fact, last July, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit denied the NCAA's motion to dismiss Johnson, finding that athletes could be classified as employees under the FLSA. This was a significant victory for McDonald, but the battle is far from over. The NCAA has filed another round of motions to dismiss, and the federal government has gotten involved, with Republicans in the House of Representatives advancing a bill that would explicitly prohibit athletes from being considered employees. President Donald Trump has even issued an executive order instructing the Labor Department and the NLRB to clarify the employment status of athletes, essentially asking them to issue guidance that says athletes aren't employees. But McDonald remains undeterred, arguing that athletes are even more deserving of student employee status than their non-athlete classmates, given the level of control exerted over them by coaches and administrators. Not everyone agrees with McDonald's approach, however. Some labor advocates argue that unionizing through the NLRA is the better path to stronger labor rights, and that recognizing student employment under the FLSA could complicate their larger goal of having athletes form unions that could collectively bargain with management. Others, though, believe that any recognition of athlete employment would be a win for their movement, even if they would prefer unionization to come first. As one athlete organizer put it, Paul's case is real. You can touch it. Is it perfect? No. But a lot of the efforts in this space are theoretical. He has an actual, active case that he could very feasibly win. So what's next for McDonald and his case? Will he be able to sway the courts and achieve his goal of recognizing college athletes as employees? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, McDonald will continue to fight tirelessly for what he believes in, even if it means ruffling a few feathers along the way. As he says, it's a paper trail. Look, all it means is the same status as these other kids, who are student employees. That's all it means. It doesn't have to mean anything more than that. To me, it's not about grading on people. Because my thing is this. It's grating if they take offense that anyone asks them a question at all. which begs a lot of other questions, right? And so, the question remains, will McDonald's relentless efforts pay off? Or will the NCAA and the federal government succeed in blocking his attempts to recognize college athletes as employees? The outcome is far from certain, but one thing is clear: the debate over athlete labor rights is far from over. And Paul McDonald will be at the forefront of the fight for years to come. But here's the question: where do you stand on this issue? Do you think college athletes should be recognized as employees? Or do you believe they are simply amateur athletes competing for the love of the game? Let us know in the comments below.